Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Legendarium podcast. This is a Wheel of Tangents episode. I don't know what episode number it is, but we're doing the Wheel of Tangents. What is that, you might be asking? I will tell you in just a moment. But for now, I am Craig Hanks, your host, and over there, well, he is, he's older than you, but younger than God, allegedly. It's Todd Wente.
Allegedly is a good word for that, too. My children will tell you that I'm older than lots of things.
And her hair curls harder than a drunk Canadian Olympian. It's Megan Smythe.
I got nothing. I'm just happy to be here. I was so excited to come and be insulted by Craig. It's a good day.
For longtime listeners who keep track of such things, I apparently hadn't been keeping close enough track. It's been a while. It's been a hot minute since Megan was in studio here. You've done some Harry Potter episodes with Stephanie.
Yeah.
But it's been a little while, so welcome back to the studio, Megan.
Thanks. It's nice to be here.
Yeah.
It looks so different. It actually does.
Yeah, and I'm not going to turn the cameras around to show people because it's also very messy at the moment. But But welcome back to the studio. Okay, so Wheel of Tangents. Oh no, I'm sorry, I can't tell you what it is yet because I have to do housekeeping. Please go to thelegendarium.com to check out our links. You can go check out the Discord link to join in the conversation. The Patreon link is there, or you can go straight to patreon.com/legendarium if you want to support the show. You can get the archives, you can get all sorts of stuff. Just go to thelegendarium.com. We would love to have you there. What else? No, I think that'll
Discord?
do.
Did you mention the Discord?
I mentioned Discord. You know, I should also mention two other things real quick. Please subscribe on YouTube if you haven't yet. We do a lot of fun videos on YouTube, including this one. But also, Legendarium Con. I don't know what we're actually calling it, but there is a meetup that's going to be happening at the end of May in Portland, Oregon. And so it's going to be, is that Labor Day weekend?
Labor Day weekend.
No, Memorial Day
Memorial
weekend.
Day weekend.
Sorry, I always
Labor
get
Day
mixed up.
weekend is the weekend of my birthday.
Okay, so.
Well, you should
Which
remember
is
that.
not
Memorial Day weekend.
Your mother remembers it as that, too.
Okay, thanks, Todd. Okay. Shh. Memorial Day weekend in Portland, Oregon. We would love to have you there. Basically, it's going to be a weekend of fun and frivolity and fantasy literature. So it really will be delightful. I hope people will come check it out. If you have any questions, you can email me, use the contact form on the website. Okay, guys, the Wheel of Tangents.
It's the Wheel of Tangents.
So, in fact, Todd, why don't you go ahead and pick up the wheel so the people watching on YouTube can actually see the wheel. This is the Wheel of Tangents. Now, here's the thing. You can see, if you're watching, that there are 8 wedges on the Wheel of Tangents. So I went on Discord and I asked people, I said, hey, what do you want us to talk about? We need some questions, some prompts. And let's say
our listeners, they always come through.
So I asked for 8, or I should say I needed 8. I got 35. So
oh my word!
I whittled that down to what did I whittle it down to? 24.
Craig, they're literature people, not math people.
Well said.
Anyway,
said.
so yeah, we're the Legendarium is legendary for our tangents in the middle of episodes, and so we decided some time ago to just lean into that, and now we just do random topics every once in a while, spin the wheel, and talk about whatever comes up. So, Todd. Turn. Okay, let's spin that wheel. So here's how we're going to have to do it. Todd is going to roll a die, and then that is going to tell us what multiplier to use on the number he spins.
4.
Because we can't afford a wheel with 24 wedges on it. So what are we looking at, Todd? What's our number?
We're looking at question number 10.
Question number 10?
I'm sorry, the dice is a 4?
Yes, because remember,
just don't
1s
worry
and
about
2 is 1, and 2 and 3, or
3 and 4 are
3 and 4
times 2.
are times 2, and 5 and 6 are times 3.
Remember what I said about math people?
We know. We love you anyway.
As long as you know what it is.
Question number 10. Our first question comes from Tora, I should say. He's our Norwegian listener, I believe. If I'm
cool.
Not mistaken.
Hi.
And he asks, what's a place you would rather, the place you would most like to go on vacation if money is no object? Okay, so there is a fantasy world vacation question. This is real world. Okay, so we're not doing fantasy stuff right now. What's your real world vacation destination if money is no object? I've already got mine, so that's. Can I tell you what mine is?
Yes.
Sure.
Mars.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I want to go to Mars. If money is no object, it's happening.
I love it.
So yeah,
You are building your own conveyance place to stay.
Yeah, except that I think I would do Jeff Bezos one extra And like, I don't know, he had the penis mobile that went up to space. You saw this, right? It was a rocket shaped like a penis.
It was.
Which most rockets are, let's be honest.
Well, sure, but this was pretty egregious.
Okay.
Did you see it?
No.
Oh,
We'll
boy.
have to show it to you later.
Okay.
You're going to love this, Megan. You're going to love it. Anyway, so whatever I go to space in is going to be just more ridiculous than that for no particular reason. I thought it was hilarious that he went on a penis mobile. So
a penis McRocket.
Making more than one dream come true.
Vacation destination. What about you guys?
Mine is so boring.
Okay,
I want to do the Australia, New Zealand thing and do it in style. I'm not a bushwhacker, so I'm just gonna your face.
Did you say bushwhacker?
Yeah,
Okay.
that is what I said.
Okay.
So I hate you guys. There will be no camping.
It took less than 5 minutes for her to say she hates us.
Well, thanks. Welcome back to the studio.
It'll be really nice. But I'm assuming I have unlimited vacation time too. So I'm just like,
right.
I can just go for a solid 6 weeks and do all of the things and have helicopters take me everywhere.
Okay,
I'm so
Todd,
excited.
do you have an answer?
Alaska.
Okay.
My daughter went on a trip to Alaska for 2 weeks and did pretty much the entire state. Well, the one triangular shaped highway that goes through the whole state, and went to a whole bunch of places. And it's a place I've always wanted to go. My wife really doesn't want to go with me. She's not a fan of Alaska for some reason. I don't know, snow maybe. But I want to go, and I want to do it during the winter time so that I can see the northern lights.
All right. Well, that's a good answer. All right, let's spin the wheel again. We're going to try to rapid fire this as much as possible. I really doubt that we're going to make it through 24 questions. I think we actually have a bonus as well. So 25 isn't going to happen. But what's our next one, Todd?
6.
Let's see. Question number 6 comes from Lady Sweden. Wow, we're really we're going all northern here. So Lady Sweden asks
Wait a minute. Hold on. This doesn't work quite right.
Oh, just
it would be 8.
No, it doesn't
Oh
matter.
my gosh, I'm doing question
one.
number 6. Okay. Question number 6 comes from Lady Sweden, who asks who our favorite female protagonist is. Now, Megan, you should have a pretty ready answer for this because you just talked about women in sci-fi fantasy on the Green Team podcast, right?
It's true.
So, your favorite female protagonist?
I mean, these things change for me all the time, but the one that sticks out in my brain right now is Alexia Terabati from the Parasol Protectorate.
Mm-hmm.
She's awesome because she's in kind of a world that's a little bit bonkers, but she is super logical. She knows who she is. She doesn't really care what society thinks about her. And she gets things done, even though everybody around her is ridiculous.
All right.
I love her.
Todd, do you have an answer for this one?
I'm trying to remember how to pronounce her name. Prime Minister Avivasala from The Expanse.
Yeah.
I absolutely...
Christian.
Yes. Love her. And part of it's because I love the portrayal that has been done from on the Amazon series.
Okay. Yeah. No. So that woman, Shoria Agdashlu.
Yes.
I love her.
Has been fan cast at least in the Wheel of Time show.
Oh.
But it was one of those like kind of weird things. Somebody tweeted at her and then tweeted at Prime Video and all the parties involved were kind of going, yeah, sure, why not? And so now everybody's like, really? Is she going to be in the Wheel of Time? That would be amazing.
She's one of those actresses I wouldn't mind seeing in pretty much everything.
Yeah. So mine would... This one's a little tough for me because mine is Shallan.
Okay.
But she hasn't been... I want to put this the right way. Shallan has not been a pleasure to read in the last couple of Stormlight books, but that doesn't mean that she's a bad character or badly written. I just mean she's not as much of a pleasure for me to read as in the first couple of books.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Yeah. No, part of her charm is that she's flawed and she's difficult and she's relatable and very human.
Yeah. And so anyway, she has been one of the most rewarding female protagonists for me to read.
Oh,
I'll buy that.
Yeah. All right. Let's spin again, Todd. Let's see what the next one is. That's a good question. Thank you, Lady Sweden. All right. The next question is... Number one. Oh, my gosh. All right. We're going right up top. This one's from Tora. Again, why should adults read children's books, middle grade and young adult stories? Ooh. Or why not?
Oh.
Or why not? Why should they?
I've been doing a little bit of young adult reading. Just got done with Cytonic, which I think fits squarely in a young adult range. And there are two things that I really enjoyed about it. One of them is they go a lot faster than some of the other stuff that we read.
Yeah.
They're not quite so nuanced. They're a little bit more clear, good and bad. So they're a little more fun to read. But the other reason that I really like it is that it keeps me grounded and connected to the things that my children are struggling with in many ways, because it addresses some of the same kinds of issues at the same kind of process level that they're dealing with. So I like being able to, my daughter right now is in the midst of all the same kinds of things that are going on in a lot of the young adult stuff. So yeah, keep me connected to what's going on in the rest of the world.
I like it.
Yeah.
I think people should read it because it's something you touched on, Todd, but I'll just expand on it a little bit. This simplicity is actually really valuable. This isn't what you want all the time because the world isn't simple, right? The world exists in shades of gray. But in order to differentiate effectively between the shades of gray, understanding black and white is your foundation. That's what you've got to be able to come back to. And so I think the way I put it with, we were reading Lord of the Rings a while ago, and I think the way that I was talking about it is sometimes it's just nice to watch the Riders of Rohan, i.e. good, run over the orcs, i.e. evil. Where you're just like, I just need good to overcome evil. And so they blow their horns and just trample them to death, and they sang as they slew. And, it's this great passage. And that simplicity in young adult literature, like we just got done with the Prydain Chronicles, that sort of simplicity I think is really, really valuable to just give yourself that foundation of good versus evil to then send yourself back to the adult fantasy, or heaven forbid, angels and ministers of grace defend us, the real world. I like that aspect of
I'll
it a lot.
stay with the fantasy.
I love that too. Well, it also gives me something. My nephews in particular, I don't have a lot in common with them. Like, I'm not really into sports. I'm not into a lot of things that the young boys in my family enjoy. I don't go skiing. But they like to read and they like these kind of things. And so they'll come to me for recommendations and they'll be able to talk about these I gave my oldest nephew a copy of 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea once. And the next time he saw me, before he said anything, he just came over and hugged me and was like, "That book is so awesome, Megan." He was so excited to talk about it.
That's so cool. And I think that might have been my least favorite
of our
Jules Verne.
Heroes of Sci-Fi. Heroes of Sci-Fi. But it was still fun. So.
Yeah, well, it's nice to have something to be able to talk with them about and something they know they can talk with me about.
Yeah.
And to be able to give people suggestions for what. Oh, my kid likes this. What should I read? Oh, well, the Del Toro quest is amazing.
And you're not gonna, so you're not going to recommend A Song of Ice and Fire to your nephew.
No,
so,
I don't even know if I'll finish it. Anyway.
No, my point just being,
exactly.
There are things that are easily recommendable, things that are more difficult,
right? And things that I've read myself that I know, oh, this is something that he could identify with and might enjoy. Yeah, as a however old he is, a 12-year-old.
I like it. All right, let's spin again. Let's see what we got. All right, Todd is spinning for us. So this is a number 1, going to number 7. All right, number 7. This is from D Polt, who, by the way, submitted a bunch of questions. Thank you so much. I couldn't take all of them, so I only kept a couple. For non-human races, elves, dwarves, orcs, etc., do you think they are better rendered when more like humans or less like humans?
I kind of enjoy it when they're a little bit less human.
Okay.
There always has to be something that you can identify with, and obviously, if we're looking at a human portrayal, a human actor, it's not going to be completely alien, but it's kind of nice to explore. Like, I look at it from a very human point of view, but it's kind of fun to get the the differences and kind of see like this.
Sure.
Because they're not human.
Yeah.
Why should they be human?
Well, okay. So the way I would frame this question or my response to it is kind of the difference between hard and soft sci-fi. What are we going for here?
Yeah.
And so in a hard sci-fi, or even we might even say like a hard fantasy setting, it's like, if there's a completely separate race of orcs, that are not human, that never were human, that don't exist as humans. And I'm not just talking about Lord of the Rings orcs,
Right.
Whatever. If there are gnomes or trolls or elves or whatever, they, in a hard fantasy setting, they should be very different. And that can be very interesting to watch, and then how do humans interact with them? And, that's where the interest comes in.
Right.
In a softer setting, I'm thinking of soft and hard sci-fi or soft and hard magic. Now we have soft and hard alien races.
Characterization. Yeah.
In a softer setting, then, they probably should or usually do just embody different human attributes.
Yeah.
So if we're thinking something like the Orville, where it's all played for comedy, you you want to be able to relate to the aliens. So you want them to be kind of humanish.
Right.
I guess for me, the question is whether or not they are set pieces or whether or not they are movers. Or put it into chess terms. Are they pawns or are they power pieces? If they're power pieces, then I want to know the nuances of that other race, of what they would be. And if they're pawns, let's keep them as two-dimensional as possible and just crunch them as they need to be crunched and have them crunch us as we need to be crunched. So
what you're saying is that red shirts are basically orcs.
Red shirts are orcs. Let's not spend too much time thinking about the fact that they have families. Like you, Craig, it all depends on what we're working toward. What is the story trying to tell us?
Right.
Is it trying to talk about our inhumanity to each other? Then maybe we do need to have them be a little bit more developed so that we can understand, they aren't the monsters. We are.
The call was coming from inside the house.
I would love that. I would love to explore. In fact, that's been one of the things that I've been thinking about a lot. What if we explored and some of it comes from reading Cytonic. What if we were to explore a series of books told entirely from a different alien race's point of view, where the humans really are the monsters? And
Have you
what
read
would
the
that
Martian
do?
Chronicles?
Yeah, I have, but I'm not sure that really qualifies exactly
All
what
right,
I'm looking
spin
for.
again, Todd.
Something like that.
All right, here we go. So let's see. We've done, 4 maybe, but let's see what comes up next.
Oh, speaking of 4.
Is it literally number 4?
Literally number 4.
You suck at rolling high. Okay, all right. Here
Don't
we
worry,
go.
the time is coming.
Dude,
We'll start cheating later.
Tora is killing me here. This is our third one from him. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and censor this one.
Oh.
Because it's a game. It's a very familiar game for a lot of people. And in the good place, they would call it Fork, Marry, Kill. Okay. And this is a very good place. So that's what I'm going with.
Oh, boy.
And Todd, you are officially excused from this one.
Yay!
Because it is Elaine, Egwene, and Avienda.
Oh.
So this is from the Wheel of Time. We don't. So Megan, of course, we don't want to get into many spoilers here. So we're just going to keep this, nice and broad.
Okay.
Elaine, Egwene, Avienda.
Okay.
I know 2 of those names because I've been watching.
Oh yeah, there you go.
So
I feel like I'm gonna go for the obvious choices, but I'm going for it anyway.
You know one of those names.
Yeah, I'm gonna fork Elaine.
Fork
I guess,
Elaine.
Because
This is the best way to
don't
play
want to
this
have
game.
to talk to her.
I'm so glad I'm not the one
Wow.
who said that. That
Wow.
was something.
And now I've forgotten all of the things. Did I just say Elaine?
Yes.
Dang it, I think I meant Egwene. Okay, so I'll marry Egwene, I guess, and then I'll kill Avienda because she's the worst.
Oh, really? Yeah. Wow. Okay. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna. Oh gosh, I'm gonna.
I know this is hard.
It's actually legit difficult.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fork Avienda, marry Egwene, and kill Elaine.
Okay.
Yeah. That's
All right.
pretty clean cut for me.
Okay.
So, so here's the follow up to this question. I kind of paired this question with one from Yeti Beats, who also asked a fork, marry, kill question with pancakes, waffles, and French toast. So Todd, you are back into the fold on this one. For me, I'm going to go with kill pancakes, marry French toast. Marry waffles and fork French toast. So
Yeah, I think I'm the same.
fork waffles. Definitely fork waffles. So many things wrong with
So
that.
much syrup in this cereal.
Marry French toast and kill pancakes.
The problem with doing fork, marry, kill with these
the foods?
breakfast pastries is
Wait a minute. I'm
you're
assuming
you're literally forking all of these things.
and let me be clear. When I'm thinking about forking waffles, I'm thinking about forking Belgian waffles.
There you go.
Not American waffles, Belgian waffles.
Are the old waffles? They're gone. They're dead and gone. Nobody does those anymore.
Well, now see, if we had those in there, then I would marry the old waffles because those are.
All right. So, all right, spin again. Let's see what we got. That was
I could marry French toast.
that was weirdly ridiculous.
French
All right.
toast I could do every day.
So
6.
18.
So, actually, it doesn't work out quite that
Oh,
way. We have to add
I've been
16, so it's actually 22.
Yeah, okay, my bad. I gave you incorrect instructions before. Little Red Book
Oh,
asks,
Little Red.
who is your favorite non-sci-fi fantasy author and why? Would you like to see this author try their hand at sci-fi fantasy?
Oh.
So good question. So I have read, let's see. There's a center-right political writer that I've read for a long time named Jonah Goldberg. I like him a lot. I listen to his podcast. He's great, but he talks all the time about wanting to write zombie fiction. And I want to read his zombie fiction book one day. Because the thing he talks about, and I tend to agree with him for the most part, I think feels a little more strongly about this than I do, but he says it's the first 15 minutes of every zombie movie that's actually interesting.
Right.
With the way society falls apart. And then the rest of it is just like blowing brains out, and it's not that interesting. It might be fun, but it's not very interesting.
Right.
And he says, I want to really expand on that first 15 minutes of the movie, in novel form. So I would read that book. What about you guys? Do you guys have any answer to that?
I feel like my answers are all dumb because I can't think of anyone except like Charles Dickens, and I don't know if he's my favorite, although I really enjoy him. I'm just very curious what like a alien version of David Copperfield would be like.
Wow. That would be fun.
Would this be like Abraham Lincoln Vampire Slayer or something like that?
I was thinking more like Disney's Treasure Planet.
Okay, all right.
Kind of thing.
That could work.
I'm into it.
Robert Ludlum.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Thrillers are one of my go-to, especially spy thrillers. And so Robert Ludlum trying his hand at fantasy. Of course, I understand somebody out there is probably saying, yes, and he's dead. I understand. But
Charles Dickens is totally still
Charles
alive.
Dickens is kicking.
Well,
Right.
But that's, I spent a lot of time. I think Robert Ludlum was responsible for getting me through my first 700-page book. And I think it wasn't the Bourne. It wasn't one of the Bourne books, but it was one kind of ancillary to that. And then it brought me into reading some big stuff, and I loved it.
All right, let's spin it again. All right, let's see what else we got. Good question. Thank you, Little Red.
That was a great spin.
Did we already do 3? I'll do it better.
No, I don't think we've done 3 yet. Okay, number 3 is from Kiptan. That's actually a great question. I love this one. Cool. Kiptan asks, what's your least and most favorite airports? Okay. Oh boy, have I got this one chambered and ready to fire.
Yeah.
Okay, what's yours, Todd?
My least favorite airport is Chicago Midway.
Really?
That place should be bombed. Completely eliminated.
Oh no.
I'm talking about firebombed from the sky until it is no longer visible as anything except rubble. Okay. Chicago Midway is awful. It is the most claustrophobic airport that I have ever been in my life, and it's thank you.
This is literally the most animated Todd has ever gotten on the podcast. Okay. So Todd, do you have an most favorite?
Yeah, believe it or not, O'Hare is my most favorite airport.
Okay. Very strange.
I love Chicago. I hate Chicago.
I think we all feel that way.
But I really have enjoyed my trips into O'Hare, and I've really enjoyed the airport.
Okay. Megan, do you have an answer to this one?
I would say I don't not really, but I can tell you my experience going from the Tokyo, Japan airport to LAX was night and day. Oh. And I totally prefer the Japan.
Yeah.
Because you go there and everybody is so nice and it was so clean and there were 3 different kinds of toilets and all the good things are going on there. And then I got to LAX and everybody yelled at me and it was Terrible
Especially
dichotomy.
the last couple of years. I feel like within the last, I don't know, 3 or 4 years maybe, LAX feels like third world. It's
Right?
so bad.
LAX hates people.
But LAX pales in comparison to 2 different airports for 2 different reasons. First
Chicago
of all,
Midway.
Nope. Miami
Okay.
has a terrible airport. Now,
yeah.
it's better now than it used to be, fine, but it's still awful. It's very poorly laid out, very poorly organized. The maps are awful. It's just difficult to get around anywhere, find anything.
Yep.
So Miami sucks. And it's also in Miami, which has its merits, but I always just feel like I'm swimming through air, whenever I'm in Miami.
Yes.
And Denver. Okay, now,
Yeah.
I've
yeah.
heard about Denver.
wonderful town, wild about Denver. I love Denver, but their airport is like a full-on mile long.
Yeah.
It's got, one major terminal, and the terminal goes for like a mile. And so if you're not connected within like 10 or 15 gates, you are hoofing it.
Yeah. And if you're connecting at one of the other terminals, you have to go down, you have to catch the tram, you have to come back. It's Denver's hard.
Yeah.
Atlanta's like that too. And I'll tell you the only reason that JFK stays off my list is because it has higher ceilings than Chicago Midway. Chicago Midway feels like a cave. Chicago Midway, I'm sorry, I'll stop.
Okay, let's stop. Spin again, Todd. Spin again. Good question, Kiptan. You actually got the blood flowing here on Todd. So
Have we already done 5?
no, we haven't done 5 yet. Befuddled Panda asks,
Hi Panda.
Hi, Panda. What unusual animal, besides a panda, of the befuddled variety?
Real world piano. I'll let you finish the question.
Okay, what unusual animal in our world would you want as a pet if legality and cost weren't an issue?
Oh.
Lynx. I want a lynx. Okay, basically, I love cats. I love cats so much. I just want a really big cat, but not so big that it
would
will
eat you.
immediately eat me.
Yeah,
but it
yeah.
could hurt me if I'm not careful.
That's my problem, because I really would love some form of bear, but I also don't want to get eaten. So
Koala?
How about a befuddled
Koalas will
how
murder
about a
you.
befuddled panda bear?
Pandas are also not nice
I know.
beings. So I don't.
Bears in general are.
I'm not a pet person.
Okay, all right.
So if I'm not going for cuddly, I would probably want like
Python.
a snake. Yeah,
Wow.
some kind of boa.
Okay.
Exotic animal, man.
Oh, Todd, you should choose the woolly mammoth that they're trying to bring back to life. Have you heard of this?
No.
Yeah, scientists are working on like Jurassic Parking the crap out of that thing and bringing the woolly mammoth back. Not really.
It will stomp on my car.
They're doing like gene splicing and all this stuff to try to bring back woolly mammoth.
But that sounds kind of cool.
And
know,
if you
right?
have unlimited funds, you can hire a trainer.
If I have unlimited funds, I can buy a new car.
Did you? Oh, are you spinning again? Okay, so Todd's done with that one. I think my answer was good enough for him.
I do, but I want like a big animal that I can like cuddle into, like it's my couch.
Okay, what are we doing?
7.
No, we did 7. Okay.
Oh, then do 6.
Okay.
I was gonna say 17.
We did 6. We did 7.
How about 8?
17.
No. I'm doing 7 times 2. Okay.
Oh, 7 times 2.
Or
Or
whatever.
7 plus 8 would be 15.
Okay, 15. All right, this one's from Kiptan as well. We're so good at this, you guys.
Math.
This is why they like us.
This is why people tune into the show, because of the high production quality and the preparation that goes into each
I was
episode.
gonna say,
Yeah.
everything we say is fascinating and totally on topic.
And that we fix it in post.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Kiptan asks, anime you've meant to watch but never have.
Oh.
Okay, so my answer to this, very, very simple. I don't watch anime. Now, again, I've mentioned this a few times. I've mentioned this a few times on the show, and I try to make clear every time, and I want to make clear now, this is not a value judgment or a moral judgment or even an aesthetic judgment on anime. It's just, it's not something I grew up with. I don't connect with the art form. And so I've tried a few times and can't quite get into it. So sorry, anime fans. I really am.
Yeah.
So, what do you guys got?
I have a lot of friends who love Sailor Moon. So every once in a while I'm like, oh, I should watch Sailor Moon. And then I watch something else. But I did watch Avatar: The Last Airbender and thoroughly enjoyed it, but that's probably the only anime thing I've ever watched. If that's anime, it's that anime.
And I have been spending so much of my life watching anime. Robotech back in the old days, Spaceship Yamato.
Okay, but what do you want to watch that you haven't yet?
So what I haven't watched, which probably will make people just gasp, that I would like to, is Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah.
My daughter
that's
just
surprising.
got done watching that one, and it's now off of Netflix, and so I have to find it a different way. But I was watching other things and didn't have time.
So fun fact, if you go on YouTube and search, best places to watch anime for free, I come up. My video has over 1 million views on how to watch anime. Best top 5 ways to watch anime, free and paid.
Get out!
And it was a video I did for my other YouTube channel. And so I did this. I did like a week of research, figuring it all out. And I'd watch little pieces of all these shows, and I couldn't quite get into them. And I tried. I gave it a legit shot, but
it is attractive to a certain group of people, and if you don't get it in the first 5 minutes, yep, we're done.
Yep. All right. So
Yeah.
what do we got next? So that's another good question.
Secret tunnel. Okay.
I love Secret Tunnel.
So funny.
You guys are weirdos.
9.
We're awesome.
Number nine. Okay.
Secret Tunnel.
Number 9.
Number 9 is from Deephold, which this is a very simple question. What is the coolest kind of weapon? So let's all get in touch with our 13-year-old boy, our internal 13-year-old boy, and talk about what is the coolest kind of weapon.
Is it like a specific or just a type?
This is
Because
all
I'm just like
we
any
have to
kind
go
of
on.
sword. You got a batleth, you got your lightsaber, you got...
Megan, you get to interpret this question as you will.
That's what I'm saying. The coolest one is a sword.
Sword. Okay. All right. So as a category,
As a category. I'm
Got
going category.
Todd?
So there's a movie called The Fifth Element.
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
You know the one I'm talking about,
I know
right?
exactly what you're talking about.
Oh, Craig's smiling. He
There's
likes
this
this.
one weapon.
It's got to be. Is this I'm sorry, real quick. Fifth Element, top 50 movie of all time.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's so
Sure.
good.
Very easily.
At least top 50 action movie.
I'd put it in probably my top 20 because it is. There are moments
Good
in that
villain,
movie that are.
entertaining, yeah.
It's just silly. But the part where he's showing off it's.
I don't remember what he calls it.
I don't either. But the actor
Gary
Oldman has been in so many other things, and he's just absolutely unrecognizable. Which is one of the things I love about him because he does this, and I'm like, who the heck is that guy?
Is that Winston Churchill? What is
So
going on?
funny. But he demonstrates this weapon that has like 85 different things. It's like first the net, then the spike launcher,
flamethrower.
flamethrower, my personal favorite, the exploding grenade launcher,
It reminds me of.
and it looks like a little turtle.
There's the scene in Iron Man 2 when Rhodey says they
want
lay
all
out
of that.
the weapons, and he says,
I
"Yeah,
want all of that.
yes," and they say, "Which one?"
All
of
of
them.
it.
So, okay, all right, spin again. Let's see what we got here. Oh, I don't know if I went, but while you're spinning, I think my answer would be. I'm gonna go with Megan on this one. Swords are cool.
Yeah,
okay.
swords.
5, but I think we already answered 5.
Yep.
So let's go with 13.
13 is from Jingles 90. J Ingalls 90.
Oh, okay.
But I'm going Jingles. Like Jingles all the way back to the 90s.
Okay.
Hope you don't mind.
And if you do, it's Craig. Craig.
So you're thrilled. Yeah.
All right. So Jingles 90 asks, what would be the weirdest movie, TV, book crossover? The weirdest movie, TV, book crossover. Oh boy. I don't know if I even have an answer to
Is
this.
this like a sci-fi fantasy thing? Or we can, because I mean, you're talking about the Ingalls, and my brain immediately went
good.
to
Little House on the Prairie.
Little House on the Prairie.
Yes.
I want like Little House on the Prairie and like The Martian.
No. Oh, so
like-
these are like, okay, so
I
these
don't
are
know.
crossovers.
Like what? Isn't that what a crossover is?
Yes,
You go
no,
from
I think-
one thing
but
to another one?
I couldn't quite tell if Jingles 90 was saying like kind of a multimedia project or like a crossover of two different
You can interpret the
properties.
question however you would like.
That's because that's where my brain went with it.
Yeah,
Where
no, I love
I'm
it.
trying to think of Little House on the Prairie in space.
I'm sure that there's a show out there that is that.
I know I said that and I was like, is that Lost in Space?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, but if it was, so like a mashup.
Yeah.
Todd, what would you mash up?
I think this one has already been tried, but I would like to see it done again. Star Trek and the X-Men.
Star Trek and the X-Men mashed up.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Who do you think has already tried it?
I think it was a limited run comic book series that was done in conjunction with Gold Key Comics and Marvel Comics briefly. But I don't think they did a very good. It didn't last very long.
So they're not coming together to create something new. It's literally Star Trek, the X-Men, and
the
Star
X-Men
Trek.
all of a sudden pop into the Star Trek universe.
I want to look that up.
That would be just, I think, so much fun.
Yeah.
All right. So I want a time travel story. Okay, going back to, let's say, the late 18th century. Okay, so time traveling back to the late 18th century, starring the cast of Seinfeld.
Oh my goodness, that would be awful. And
I know.
I would watch that.
Watch the.
No, he had puffy shirts, puffy sleeve shirts everywhere.
All right, so spin again, Todd. Let's see what else we got. Oh, what are we coming up on? We've been doing this. It's only 35 minutes in, so.
We got 5 again.
Feels like forever.
Okay, he's spinning again. Let's say that's a 6, Todd. That's a 6.
That's a 6.
So what does that mean? We're at number 18, is it? Or 16, I mean?
That would be.
Are you crossing these
no, it
off
would be
as we
14.
go?
14.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Have we already done 14?
Nope.
14.
Jeff Dugan asks for our favorite or best wintertime comfort food meal. Oh, boy. Okay, I've got mine. While you guys think of yours.
Okay.
Mine is a beef pot roast with potatoes and carrots and mushrooms and all that stuff over mashed potatoes with my because I refuse to be modest about this. I make amazing wassail.
This is true.
You do make amazing wassail.
The wassail with that meal.
You do make amazing wassail.
So.
That sounds really good.
Mine would be it's a traditional American Thanksgiving dinner with my smoked turkey, because I think my smoked turkey is really, really good.
Nice.
And Craig, I'm sorry I have to say this to you, but it would be my wife's wassail that I would have. Yours is great. Hers is just that much more soothing to my soul.
Sure.
Chased by a good Coke Zero.
Okay, and he's ruined it.
Yeah.
Wow.
You kind of did.
Okay. Megan?
I have simple tastes. I'm a soup and toast kind of girl, and so in my mind, it's a grilled cheese.
Oh.
Where you can do a grilled cheese, or you can dip it in the tomato soup, or I don't know if you've ever had grilled cheese and you put like jam on it and you dip it in hot chocolate, like chocolate hot chocolate.
Stop talking.
I know,
Stop. No,
I just ruined it for you, but it is so good.
Grilled cheese with jelly?
Grilled cheese, and you put like raspberry jelly on it. You dip it in the hot chocolate, and it's like,
oh wow,
it's so good.
I'm gonna have to try that.
You probably don't have mayonnaise on it.
I'm okay with the jelly part, but you lost me with the hot chocolate. There is a sandwich here in Salt Lake that Gourmandise makes, and it's blueberry balsamic grilled cheese.
Oh, that sounds good.
But they use nice cheese. They use the nice blueberry compote, so like it's tasty.
All right. Do you dip it in anything?
But then you said hot chocolate, and how dare you?
You have to. I think you have to be in the mood, but it's wonderful.
Okay, Todd, spin again.
I love myself some soup and toast.
Whose question was that anyway? Jeff Dugan? Yeah.
We came up on 6 again, but I think it really means to be 7.
Okay. What does that put us at then? 15. I'm just choosing questions at this point. Okay.
The wheel has failed us.
Closest to 15.
Closest to 15. That'll be Lady Sweden asks, dream guest on an Author's Shelf podcast.
Ooh.
And now I am going to stipulate this person must be alive.
Okay.
Okay. No dead authors on this one.
Okay. On an Author's Shelf.
Mm-hmm. So for those unfamiliar, the Author's Shelf is what we do on this show when we have an author come on the show, but instead of talking about their book, we ask them to come on and talk about something that is important or influential to them. Mm-hmm. So keep that in mind. It's not necessarily about their books.
Can it be somebody that we've already had on?
Sure. Yeah. Why not? If your dream is already fulfilled, that doesn't mean it's not a dream.
Oh, wow. That was just brutal.
So I shy away from the author's shelf thing. Like, I like to listen to them, but I don't know that I want to talk to one of my heroes because I'm afraid I would embarrass myself. But I think it would be really fun. I don't know if I want to get into the mind of Neil Gaiman, but I would really like to see what kind of book he would want to read and to talk about. I think that could be really fun.
Yeah, I think that's a great choice.
Jim Butcher.
Jim Butcher, really?
Yeah.
He's your dream interview.
We had so much fun on the interview that we did with him right toward the end of our process. And he talked about wanting to play D&D and some similar kinds of attitudes. And I think that he would be so much fun to have on the author's shelf and read one of the books that was influential for him as we went on through that process.
Fair enough. Mine, oh gosh, mine would probably be Tom Shippey. So he's the guy who wrote a bunch of those the
Lord of the Rings deep dives,
the Tolkien, analytical books.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's been very, very influential on me, and I know that he could point me in the direction of some really good foundational things to read. So there's my pick.
Since it has to be an alive person, I'm going with Neil Gaiman.
My wife met him actually back when she was in college. Yeah. She wasn't like a fan of his or anything, but she was assigned as she was part of Sigma Tau Delta. It's like an English sorority society nationwide, and so she was assigned by them to like ferry him around for a day in in like Milwaukee or something.
Okay,
wow.
And so he was. I always try to concede that maybe it was just a bad day, maybe something had happened or whatever, but she came back from that and she was like, it's kind of a jerk. So, but kind of standoffish or whatever. And so anyway, so that's always left a little bad taste in my mouth. But again, who knows? Maybe it was just a bad day. You never know. Maybe he's just a lovely
Some people
man.
are just not social beings. And that's, not everybody can be Brandon Sanderson. And I tell you what, first time I heard Brandon Sanderson speak, I was like, oh my gosh, this guy is so chatty. I did not expect that from him for some reason.
Yeah, you get him in the right setting.
Yeah.
For sure.
He's adorable.
Okay, Todd, where are we at?
23.
23. Wow, okay. Oh boy, from Kiptan again. What book have you put off for too long?
I know mine.
Okay, what's yours?
The Wheel of Time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm working my way through the video that for the video production that is going on with Amazon Prime.
It's the moving picture. Todd,
yeah. I'm finally getting around to that.
Watching the talkies.
But I'm very aware that is not the book, and so I'm saying it's on my list. I really need to get to it. I know that it's a pivotal piece. It's a seminal piece. We talk about it. Everybody else talks about it here on the podcast. I'm the only one that doesn't. And I know I need to get around to it. And I really don't want to bite it off until I got a couple of other things put away.
Until you can chew it.
Until I can chew and enjoy and savor every possible word.
Because I do think you will enjoy it.
I had to lower that because it's blocking your face, Megan. The microphone is blocking your face a little bit.
Everybody wants to see your face.
Okay. So, Megan, do you have an answer to this one? What do you think?
I feel like I talk about it every time I come on the podcast, but I've had a copy of Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell.
Okay.
It's only been like 2.5 years, but I still feel really badly that my friend lent it to me, and I just keep holding on to it. And I mention it every once in a while. She's like, no, I'm not reading it. Go ahead and hold on to it. Okay, but at some point I want to read it. Things keep getting in the way.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
I've got a few answers to this. If I'm being honest, I keep looking back at my shelf to see like which one do I want to admit to. But the one that I think probably is the one that I should have done by now is Dune. Where I picked it up last year, I picked it up last year thinking to myself, okay, the movie's coming out. I should read the book and prepare and whatever. And then eventually I thought to myself, you know what? The movie's coming out and I kind of want to see it as a movie and not as an adaptation. So I'll just wait. And so I put it off for years and years. And then when I finally was ready to pick it up, I was like, no, I'm actually going to on purpose wait.
Yeah.
And so now it's at the point where
You missed the window.
No. I will read it.
Oh, okay.
I don't feel like I missed any windows. I'm just saying like it's a little ridiculous that I haven't read Dune.
Yeah.
It's kind of stupid.
There are probably a couple of other books that I could identify that are on my dresser at home, my shelf. But when I'm thinking about, I guess the reason that I go to the Wheel of Time is because that's part of what we do. It's part of the fantasy and science fiction. And there's a lot of fantasy and science fiction that I look at and I say, yeah, one of these days, but that one's kind of a seminal work. So
yeah, okay, all right. What do we get next? We'll see if you can roll something that we haven't done yet.
22.
that would be 24, actually.
24. Okay. Sir Ravis asks, which book series from the podcast's history do you wish you'd written?
Ooh.
Okay. Which one do you wish you had written that we have read on the show? The obvious answer for me is Lord of the Rings, but I'm not going to say that because that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's carrying a lot of weight that I would not be up to. Do you guys have an idea on this one?
So I'm going to, in thinking about this, the way that I want to answer it is the way that it was presented to me in a songwriting class that I took when I was going through my undergraduate, and that was take a song that you really loved, and then write a song that uses that as a guide. And so the one that I would pick would be the Lost Fleet series by Jack Campbell.
Ooh, nice one. Yeah. Okay, why is that?
For me, that was one of the best hard science fiction. There's some pieces about it that are obviously kind of space opera because the faster than light travel and some of those kinds of things were, hundreds of years into the future, and we've got a lot of things going on. But the way that space travel is represented, the way that space combat is represented, the way that human problems are still human problems in the midst of all of those things, I really, really enjoyed that series, and it got me thinking about some of the questions of space combat. I love Star Wars. I really love Star Wars. And after reading Jack Campbell's Lost Fleet, none of the space battles are quite the same. Yeah. I everything about that has changed.
Even before you got to the arcing laser bolts.
Oh, I can't believe you brought that.
Why?
Okay, Megan, you look like you're raring to go. Do you have an answer?
Why would you say that? Oh, I just got him calmed down. I would probably, something that I wish that I could write that kind of feels like my vibe are the Wax and Wayne Mistborn books.
Oh, Mistborn era 2.
Mistborn era 2. I love them because I love the way that they take the powers in the magic system from era 1 and the way it kind of gets adapted into, this is 300 years later, so everything's diluted, so everybody only has one power, but it's like, and kind of playing with it in sort of a fan fiction-y way. I love the humor. I think I really like the way he writes the women in that, where they're just very different, and they like their end goal in life is not necessarily to get married, because you have the one whose name I can't think of right now that's like, I don't know, the one he doesn't marry.
Yeah.
But I also love
Steris?
the other one.
Oh, okay.
I do love Steris though. I like kind of the steampunk vibe of it, and I just think it's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
and so that's the kind of thing that I would love to have written.
Yeah,
or would love to write in the future, but I probably won't. But I just really, I think that's a lot of fun. It feels like me.
All right. So I've been thinking about what my answer might really be. And I'm not totally sure. I'm looking back at my shelf again here to see if I can spot something that I really wish that I had written. And I'm kind of struggling on this one. I think, what I might choose? I might choose The Truth by Terry Pratchett.
Oh, sure.
Oh, okay.
And here's why. It's not because that one book would make me rich or famous or anything. It's because if I had written The Truth, I would, I mean this in whatever way I mean it. I guess, I don't know, whatever. I would be a much wiser person than I am if I were capable of writing that book.
Because it's so clever.
It's not just clever. It's all the things. Yeah. It really is one of the most remarkable books I think I've ever read.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to go with that one. All right, Todd, what do you got?
So many layers.
Peel the onion.
We've got 4, but I think we've already asked 4, so let's go to 12.
Yeah, I think we've already done that one too. Oh, no, we haven't. Okay, so Jeff Dugan asks, non-Middle-earth fantasy world that you'd like to spend a 2-month vacation in. So I like the way this is structured because, when you think of a vacation, it's like, oh, well, a week. Or you have to spend your whole life in a place, and those are 2 extremes. But 2 months, it's like that's enough time. You got to survive, and you've got to be able to make your way around. But it's also not your whole life, right?
Yeah.
So I like the way this is structured.
Yeah.
Will you read it for me again?
Okay, Todd says Pern. The question is non-Middle Earth. That was directed at me.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Thank you. Thank you.
I don't want to live there anyway.
Non-Middle Earth fantasy world that you'd like to spend a 2-month vacation in.
I don't want to spend 2 months in any of those places.
Say John Carter of.
I want to go there.
I know. You'd be naked the whole time.
Well, that doesn't sound horrible. Get used to it anyway.
I hadn't thought of that. Where's Ken?
Oh, geez. He'd be so uncomfortable.
Continue to. No, actually, that's hilarious. I guess I would say somewhere like Wonderland. I need somewhere with indoor plumbing.
Okay.
Wonderland
that really
is
narrows
bonkers.
down.
I know that's the thing.
Hogwarts.
Maybe I could teach Defense Against the Dark Arts.
You can teach it for 2 months at least.
Why not? Oh yeah, for 2 months.
How long is anybody else going to have the job?
Substitute teaching. Why not?
Okay.
Well, whatever other teachers turn to stone.
So I think mine would be Elantris.
Of course it would.
Okay.
Post Elantris. Okay. Or pre Elantris.
Healed Elantris.
Yeah. Not dank, dirty, broken down, busted up Elantris.
Everybody dog eats dog.
I don't want to live in Elantris. I want to live in one of the little satellite cities around it.
Okay.
Where for 2 months I can enjoy my pilgrimages inside the city, taking advantage of all that stuff. But that's it's a lot to deal with. And from what we've seen of the Elantrians outside of the novel, they can be a bit, as the kids say, extra. So I don't know if I'd want to live with the Elantrians, but I would want to have access to them. So how's that?
Yeah,
good.
Yeah, no,
all right.
That sounds awesome.
Okay, we'll take a couple more.
Sorry, I didn't have an answer for that one.
All right, so Todd,
it came up for 14,
which we've done. So
20.
I'm doing
22. Megan said 22.
No, we've done that one. All right, so here we go. We are doing Starcast asks, let's see, do you play card games? If yes, which ones?
Oh, wow.
My answer is no, I don't. This is a bit like the anime thing. I just didn't ever really get into them. Things like Magic the Gathering or, things of that sort. I didn't really get into them, and so I missed the boat a little bit on that. And I would love to play them, but every time I've tried, the gatekeeping keeps me away. But this is a gatekeeping that I understand and I'm not that mad about, where people who've been playing these games for years and years are like, hey, look, I've got my deck, I've got my group, and it would just be so much work to bring you up to speed.
Oh. Yeah.
And I understand that, so I'm not upset at it. But I've tried a few times to play some card games with people, and it just hasn't.
So we're talking like Magic the Gathering, because I'll tell you what I immediately did is I said,
Texas Hold'em.
We play card games at the house all the time. We have a game we call 99. We play Gin Rummy. We play Uno. We play all of those kinds of card games. I immediately went to that place.
I did too.
As far as other kinds of card games, I played for a while, and it's a collecting card game, but it's also a real-time strategy game. And we played Star Wars Pocket Models.
All right.
And that was so much fun. One of my sons and I, we used to roll the game board out, and we played that for hours on Sunday nights. Loved it. I still have all my models. If anybody wants to play, I'll bring them with me up to Legendarium Con, and we can play Star Wars Pocket Models. So easy. Set you up with your own deck. It's great.
Megan?
I don't know enough about the card games.
Yeah, I think you're in my boat.
I know.
Yeah.
I just missed it.
Okay.
My younger brothers played, but I didn't.
Let's see if I can find one more, or maybe two more, because I love this one from Befuddled Panda. Okay, are you ready? Megan, this one is specifically directed at you.
Okay.
Oh.
From Befuddled
Scary.
Panda, who asks, can you explain what an NFT is and whether they're useful for society?
I don't know what an NFT is.
Todd?
No.
No and no, or yes and no?
And no.
Nobody knows what they are.
I
We're
do
not
know-
supposed to ask.
I do know what they are. No, I can't explain it. And no, I don't think they're useful for society.
I think it's such a scam.
Oh, yeah.
It's such a scam.
You know what? I have artwork that I have collected. Mm-hmm. I don't have electronic artwork that is only on my phone that I can trade for. No, wait, no. Whatever.
Yeah, who knows? You know, fast forward 500 years and maybe NFTs will be a real thing. But right now, scam.
Great.
Scam.
You bet. You bet.
No, it's the plaything of the rich.
Yes.
And I don't really.
Because they don't have enough money they don't have enough things to use their money on right now. Why don't we work on alleviating world hunger? Why don't we alleviate some of those other kinds of things?
So I find that to be a poor argument, but I just find them to be stupid. So
I'm of the opinion, there are so many things that I think are stupid that I'm just like, let people have their stupid things.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
I don't make fun of me for my stupid things, and I'll leave you alone about yours.
All right, so we have made our way through a shocking number of these questions.
Good for us.
Because we cheat.
Because we didn't go on tangents.
So here's that's right. On the
No
wheel of
tangents
tangents.
on the wheel of tangents.
It's only because Megan
Keep
kept
on
me
topic.
under control when we came up with the airport question. Because I could go on for another
Todd,
half hour.
Stop, Todd. Stop. Okay. The solution.
Such an awful place.
The solution asks, "What's the worst ice cream flavor?" Mint. Okay, so I'm done.
Mint when
Pralines
it's
and
done
cream.
wrong.
What?
Pralines and cream.
Oh, what?
We're not friends.
That's weird.
I'm sorry.
Those are good.
I cannot stand that flavor of ice cream.
Megan?
I just can't.
I don't know. Does any ice
This is
cream
a-
have
this is a
raisins
fast
in it?
one. Not that
If
I
an
know.
ice cream has raisins in it, it's
probably like
automatically the worst one.
I would go with you on that one. I would agree with you. That would be worse than pralines and cream.
I'd rather eat
But yeah,
I'd rather eat a raisin in my ice cream than brush my teeth with my ice cream.
Yeah, no,
so.
that was the first thing that I thought of when I saw this question on Discord was if there is good mint ice cream, but if it's not good, then it's the worst.
All right, so our final question for today comes from Cody. We probably missed one or two in there, but I think we got to almost all of them.
I'm so proud of us.
That was
Oh
really
no,
well
I'm
done.
sorry. Can we do two more? Is it
Yes,
all
we
right?
can do two more. As long as one of them
Okay.
doesn't have to do with arcing laser bolts. Because you
Okay,
brought
Todd,
up arcing.
Todd, stop. Stop.
Can I talk just for a second about the E11 blaster?
No.
No, but if you need to talk about John Carter of Mars, I will let you.
Oh, awesome. We'll talk later.
This
Okay.
is reminding me of the time when Megan first came on the show and we were doing, I think it was Words of Radiance.
Yeah.
And I literally had to shush the two of you
was so
across
fun.
the
Do you
room.
remember that?
Todd,
No.
shut up. Jiminy Christmas.
It was delightful.
I can't get a damn word in when you two are together.
I don't remember this.
Okay.
I do.
This one comes from Jaffu.
Whoa!
He is who by the way, who sets this up by saying, "Ooh, here's a good one." So Jaffu thinks this is a good question. People on the show, meaning the Legendarium, mostly like Sanderson. What's your least favorite thing about him as an author?
Ooh.
So I'm going to save Cody's question for last because this one actually is a fantasy question. So I figured we better get to this one. I think I'll tell you what mine is. Did
Okay.
you guys? Did
Okay.
you watch the video that I put out a couple of years ago about Sanderson versus Tolkien and how they differ in their world building?
Yes, but I don't remember.
That's fine. The analogy that I brought up is stories as buildings. And so, you have stories down through the ages. There, you build huts and then you have houses and forts and castles and on and on. Eventually, Tolkien builds the world's first skyscraper.
Mm-hmm.
It's this unbelievably detailed, intricate, huge thing in Middle Earth. Lord of the Rings particularly, but Middle Earth more broadly. And when you walk into his building, you see the polished, burnished banisters and the lovely hand-carved crown molding.
I remember this.
Right. The carpets are all plush and the couches are deep and soft and delightful. Everything about it feels inviting and warm and lived in. And at the very least, it feels detailed and like real care went into that. Sanderson, on the other hand, he takes this concept of subcreation, of world building that Tolkien built out, and he blows it up. And he's like, what if it were a whole city? Right, with all these skyscrapers, and you can go from one skyscraper to the other, and they're all connected, and they blah, blah, blah. Also an amazing concept, but he's one guy, like Tolkien was. So he doesn't have the time to put the level of care and detail into his buildings, into his stories that Tolkien did. And so if there's one thing that I want more of that I can't expect from him, because he's not that kind of writer, it would be more of that lush detail in his stories. That's not to say there's no detail. I'm not saying that that everything is completely Spartan, in his buildings. Right. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying we don't have that kind of level of care and detail that makes for a story that takes 17 years to write.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I see what you're saying, but it's interesting because I kind of feel not the opposite, but I just feel like he uses a lot more words than he needs to. Like we do. Yeah, I'm definitely doing it right now. But
hey, I'm the guy who just went on for 3 minutes about buildings as stories. So
yeah, but his books just keep getting. Well, I'm thinking specifically of the Stormlight Archive, where they keep getting longer and longer. But I feel like there isn't necessarily more information going into them. He's just using more words and more just really excited to say things.
He's Harry Potter 5ing it.
Kinda, yeah.
Kinda.
Like there's so many things he could cut out that I don't know, redundant.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's fair.
I can see the lack of streamlining in some of the storytelling. Was the first thing that came to my mind. But the other thing that I struggle with, and I struggle with it not so much that I don't want to sound petty or disappoint or like I'm angry or any of those kinds of things. But there are several stories that are all moving, and that means that none of them are getting finished quickly. And so he as a writer does a wonderful job of keeping himself straight on what all of these are. But I feel like every time a new book comes out, I have to go back and reread 2 or 3 books to get myself back up to speed where I need to be. And maybe that's my fault as a reader, but because they come out, we haven't had anything from Scadrial in a while. And
we're about
still
to.
waiting for
and I know that when we get the next one, I'm gonna have to go back and reread 2 books to get myself back in a place where I can say, okay, I've got all the context that I need. I'm a real big context person, and so for me, jumping back in, recreating the context takes a little bit, and that's one of the things that I'm disappointed about.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. So our final question for today, and then we really will wrap this up, comes from Cody, who asks, what is something that you've done before in your life that you're thankful you'll never have to do again? For example, I'm excited never to have to go through high school again, she says. When I asked my grandma, who is 97 and in assisted living, she said she's excited she'll never have to clean the bathroom again. The facility staff does that for her.
Oh, that's nice.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it's a really good one.
Yeah, do you guys have something that you're glad you'll never have to do again? You know what? How about this? We've talked every once in a while on the show about our 2-year missionary service that we've done. Grown up Mormon, that's a thing that you do. You turn 19. Well, these days it's 18, I guess.
Yeah.
And you go off on missionary service, and it's life-changing. It's wonderful. People talk about it often as the best 2 years of my life, whatever. And I'm so glad I did it. I'm so glad that I lived in France and I speak French and I, learned things and talked to people and had experiences and all these things. Never want to do it again.
Yeah.
It's an intense, difficult experience, no matter where you go or what you do.
Sure.
So there's one for me.
I really wish I could say I'm so glad I never have to go on another date again, but I can't, so I won't. But I am really glad I won't have to have a first kiss again, because that was not a good experience.
Well, you're going to have a first kiss with anybody who you've never kissed before. And
yeah, but there's a difference between a first kiss and the first kiss.
Okay,
I'm not kissing somebody I don't care about again. I'll be honest. People talk about like the non-committal makeout.
Oh boy.
That's just not me.
Yeah.
I have to like the guy. And if I'm just doing it just to be nice, it's not worth it.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Todd, did you come up with something?
Advanced quantitative. I am so glad I'm not going to have to take another advanced quantitative analysis class. Statistics, my last statistics class just about broke me as a human being. I'm done. I'm going to have to perform a bunch of statistical analysis on a research project, but I'm never going to take that class again.
All right.
I'm so glad for you because, man, that sounds terrible.
I'm glad I did it. Like Craig, I'm glad I did it. And boy, do I know a lot more about advanced quantitative analysis than the average bear, but...
All right. So that's a good answer. And I think that is going to wrap up our episode for today.
Yay.
So,
we did it.
As quantitative analysis broke Todd, this episode has officially broken me. And so I've got to be done with it. I've had my fill of Todd and Megan.
Wow. It didn't take that long either, did it?
Wow.
Just kidding.
Hasn't seen me since July and he's done. Cool.
It took like 45 minutes.
Small doses, Megan.
45 minutes, ladies and gentlemen.
Taking off my glove and
45 minutes.
All right, so I hope
That
people
explains a lot, doesn't it?
He's
Guys-
so glad he never has to do that.
guys, I'm gonna go ahead and close out this
With us
episode.
again.
So if you'll kindly shut up.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll shut up.
Gee, many Christmas. All right, everybody go to thelegendarium.com, subscribe on Facebook or on YouTube or whatever that thing is called, and stick around next week. We'll do a Silmarillion episode. Luckily, not with these two yahoos.
Nope. I am behind.
So we're going to do the Silmarillion next week, and it'll be a lot of fun. We're finally getting into Feanor and the Silmarils, so people should be looking forward to it. I know I am, and I will see you all then.
Have fun storming the castle.